Okay, can you hear me?
I hear you, yes. I hear you now.
Ooh, yes, we have figured it out. We got this. We got this. We're gonna do this, okay? No matter
Okay,
what this, okay? No matter
okay.
what. This is happening. This is happening. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm sorry about all that. I don't know. I guess it's my connect. It has to be my connection. I don't know. It sucks. Um, So if you don't mind, we're going to the questions again because it's going on the first time.
That's fine.
So let's start over, okay?
All right.
Okay, so let's talk about your camera. What kind of camera do you use? What kind of lenses? All that good stuff.
I'm a Sony user, Sony mirrorless system user since about 7 years. The camera I'm using now is Sony A7R Mark II. It's a full frame mirrorless camera. And I
Nice.
use a variety of lenses from as wide as 14 millimeter focal length up to 200 millimeter focal lengths. But
Very nice.
I usually figure out what exact focal length is, what exact lenses I need in each travel, so I don't have to take everything with me.
Besides your camera, besides your lenses, besides your clothes and whatever else you take with you on your travels, right? What other photography accessories do you take with you?
I usually take a lightweight tripod with me and a
Okay.
couple of lens filters. I use neutral density filter for long
Nice.
exposures and circular polarizer as well. So just the
Okay.
filters and the tripod with the camera and couple of lenses, that's usually my kit during travel.
Okay, good. Um, okay, so what we were saying in the other video, which was like a total fail. Um, so for any other travel photographers out there, because I know that we have a couple in our community right now. And so they're always, I know I'm one as well, that, you know, when I go on my travels, I am always trying to find different tips and things that I can, you know, that would be helpful for me on my travels. Do you have any advice for travel photographers, you know, things that they should travel with that are like absolutely necessary when you travel?
Yes, what I'm thinking of is mainly dedication for the photographer. And
Yes.
that's because photography is not all the time interesting, not all the time you go happy in the streets. Sometimes you get bored, sometimes you get in difficult situations, either in the streets with people or with security guards, sometimes either in airports. You might have some
Yeah.
difficulties in airports. So your dedication will be actually the main driver here. You need to be really keen on what you are going to do. Second thing
Yeah.
is knowledge. You need to gather a lot of information about places you are going to, because you don't want to waste time searching for locations, waste time spending a lot many hours in a place in the wrong time of the day. You need to search that prior you start moving. So you need to know what type of equipment as well you will take to travel as light as possible. So preparing and gathering knowledge about the places you are going to and what previous photos has been taken there. What are the major areas you need to take photos there? That's a lot of information you need to gather before you actually start moving.
Nice. Where do you get this information from? Like, where do you look for it?
Uh, I learned this the hard way.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, photography is not my what I do for living. So that's just a hobby. So I learned
Hmm.
from some YouTube videos, from other photographers I follow,
Nice.
from some of my colleagues, and the hard way, finding things the hard way.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I know that, like, for example, when I go to different places, of course you're always looking for that like Instagram worthy picture, right? Like that
Yes.
beautiful location. And I found that, like, if I go on Instagram and I'll go through like the hashtag, or I'll go to like the location, it'll show me the different locations where other people have taken these beautiful photographs. Of course, you go into it and you don't want to take exactly the same photograph as them, but you can give it your own interpretation, your own perspective. But I know that that's helped me to find these locations, because when you go to a place that you've never been before, you're like, I don't know where to go, I don't know what to look for. So
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah, yeah, so that's really good advice. That's really, really good advice. So okay, do you do any post editing on
Yes,
your
of course
photos?
I do. I do. I mainly use Adobe Lightroom for my
Okay.
basic editing. And
Okay.
sometimes I go as simple as just processing photos on my cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on how difficult is the photo, how complex is the lighting conditions in the place. So, and sometimes
Right.
just basic processing by the phone. I use Snapseed on the phone or Lightroom for mobile. Sometimes they are just enough.
Nice, nice. I haven't used Snapseed yet, but I know a lot of people use it, and I know it's very helpful. So,
It's very
yeah.
helpful. I'm actually using it even before. In the previous days, Snapseed was the online photo editor for Google Plus. I used to be a Google
Oh,
Plus person, so I
okay.
used it since these days. I like it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So shout out to Snapseed. Okay, good. Okay. So tell me about the top three places, uh, your top three places that you photographed.
I love, in general, taking photos in the cities. So London for me was a perfect place. London was camera friendly and easy to go around, and it has a lot to photograph in the streets. So London was my first choice. Second choice,
Yeah.
because I live here in Cairo, and Cairo also has a very rich presence in terms of travel photography and architecture photography.
Yeah.
So Cairo is also very rich, and it's very reachable for me here. Uh, Third thing is I'm falling in love with the desert. So
Nice.
from time to time, I travel to desert places. We have here the Western Desert in Egypt. Very rich places, and diversity is great as well. We talk either astro or general landscape photography in the desert. So those are my main three places I think of when I start.
Dying to go to Egypt. Like, actually, I mean, I right now I'm in Madrid. Before that, I was living in the States, and it was like a dream for me to ever go to Egypt one day. But now that I'm, sort of like closer, I
Yeah.
am definitely going to make a trip out there and check out some of the beautiful, beautiful places that Egypt has. So when I do, I'm gonna hit you up so you give me
Worth
some
is not
pointers.
dry, more than welcome.
And yeah, so okay, let's see. So what I was saying in the other video was that one of the things that really captured my attention about your photography were your portraits, right? I really, really enjoy seeing like travel portrait photography, especially when it's like candid, when it's just like people in the street like that. So when it comes to like the portraits that you've taken, what do you look for when you capture the candid portraits on your travels?
Although I don't consider myself as a portrait photographer or a street photographer, but I always challenge myself to do that, because people faces or people presence in the photo, that's what actually tells the story of the photo. And this is what I'm
Yeah,
looking at. Uh, I'm usually photographing architecture, but with time I find that architecture actually makes more sense with people in the frame. So that's what
yeah,
I'm trying to do: either mix faces or persons with architecture, or just taking candid portraits in the streets. It's a bit
very nice.
difficult to convince people to be in front of the camera, but it takes time. It takes some dedication. Sometimes I fail. Sometimes I get it right. So I'm trying it,
Yeah,
enjoying it.
right, right. And I guess, I mean, that's what matters, right? At the end of the day is that you enjoy it.
Yes.
So yeah, I agree. Okay, so I'm just gonna ask you just two more questions, okay? Because I know that I've already spent a lot of your time. Again, I'm sorry about all the technical difficulty. That was
No.
just anyways. Okay, so tell me, where are you traveling to next?
Uh, my next target is northern Italy, the Italian Dolomites. That's my next target. I hope I can find the suitable time to free myself and do that trip.
Yes, that sounds exciting.
Yes.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, good. And then one last thing. Do you have any favorite travel photographers right now that you look at and on Instagram? Now is the time if you want to give them any shout outs or anything like that.
Sure. I follow a lot of travel photographers, but my
Okay.
main two idols are Trey Ratcliffe, and
Okay.
actually Trey is the one I was following all my photography years. I was trying to learn from, and also
Yeah.
Daniel Cheung. Daniel is also a travel photographer, well-known travel photographer. I think everybody knows him, knows both of them. So those are my main idols in the travel photography. In addition to
Very nice.
that, following the right hashtags about the type of photography on Instagram. That's a brilliant thing Instagram did, to follow hashtags. So that
Right.
enriches our experience as well.
Right. Right. Okay. So can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Can you write down in the chat their handles, their Instagram handles for anybody who is interested on checking out the people that you just mentioned?
I'm doing that right now.
Awesome. So that everybody else out there can also check out these travel photographers. Okay. So we have one, Trey Radcliffe.
I hope I
Great.
spelled that right. If not,
Okay. It's okay if you did it. Okay. Well, again, I want to thank you for joining me and chatting with me about some of your travel photography tips. Again, I want to congratulate you on your amazing work. I am looking forward to seeing everything else that you have that is coming out later on. Okay. And then I want to give a shout out to creative content builders. For everybody out there who's watching, make sure to follow them. And then we also have a couple other pages. Make sure to check them out too. We have ccb.ports for beautiful portraits. Now we have CCB Travels. And that one actually, we're definitely showcasing more travel photography. So always be on the lookout for that. We have CCB Creatives and we have CCB Community. So make sure to check out all these amazing pages. And then we're also going to be showcasing some more of your work. So everybody that's out there, make sure that you check them out. And do you have any other last words? Anything else you want to tell the people?
I just want to thank you, Yasmin, for preparing and arranging all of that. I also thank you, the whole team of creative content builders, for promoting photography and photographers. You guys are doing great job with that. I really like being part of this community. And I thank everybody for listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Bye.
Bye.